You know that feeling, that specific kind of panic.
Oh, I know it well.
You walk into a meeting room, you've got like 5 minutes to get your presentation up, and you're just staring at this mess of remotes or a totally frozen iPad.
The AV panic, it's a universal corporate experience.
The AV panic.
Exactly.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive on a device that claims to solve that exact problem. It's the Kramer RC-206.
And, when you first look at it in the source material, it looks like a standard light switch.
Right. So what's the big deal? What makes this thing worth talking about today?
Well, that's kind of the whole mission behind its design. It's a 6-button IO Control Keypad, and it's meant to be this bridge between all the messy, complex technology hidden in the ceiling and, the user who just wants to press a button and have the room work.
So it's a brain in disguise.
Pretty much.
Wow.
A powerful room controller disguised as a simple wall switch.
Okay, let's start with that disguise, the form factor.
Yeah.
The sources really emphasize that it's designed to just blend in.
Yeah, it fits a standard one-gang junction box. US, UK, European, doesn't matter. The whole point is that it can just disappear into the room's decor.
Would you want? Right. In a high-end boardroom, you don't want some clunky industrial-looking gear on the wall.
Exactly. But the interface itself, that's the real hook. We're talking about 6 physical buttons.
Physical buttons. And they have that tactile feedback, don't they?
A real click.
That feels like such a deliberate choice. I mean, we just spent the last decade putting touchscreens on literally everything. Why go back to a physical button?
I think it's about reliability.
Yeah.
And confidence. With a touchscreen, you sometimes tap and you think, wait, did that actually register?
Yeah, totally.
With this, you get a click. You know it worked. Plus, they're backlit.
Oh, right, with RGB colors. And you can actually change the labels.
Yep. The caps are removable for custom labeling. So the button doesn't say macro 1, it actually says lower screen or presentation mode.
So any guest can walk in and figure it out in, 3 seconds?
Yeah. That's the goal. If they can't, the design has failed.
All right, but let's push back on that controller claim. You called it a brain. If I pull this faceplate off the wall, what am I actually looking at? Because a light switch just has a couple of wires.
And this is where the engineering is really impressive. The back of this unit is just packed with I/O ports.
Okay.
It has Ethernet for LAN control, sure, but it also has 2 RS-232 ports, an RS-485 port, and even IR control.
IR, as in infrared.
Yeah, infrared.
So it can control devices that usually need a remote pointed at them.
Exactly. It can talk to the old DVD player in the corner and the modern network switch. It even has relays.
Relays. Those are for physical contact closures, right?
Yes. Think of a motorized projector screen going down or shades closing.
Okay, yeah.
That's usually a relay. So this one switch is simultaneously talking to the network, serial devices, infrared emitters, and physical motors.
The sources also talk about something called KNet. Is that just a fancy name for a cable?
It's their proprietary protocol, but it solves a huge installation headache. KNet carries both power and communication on a single cable.
Oh, wow. So if I'm installing, say, 3 of these in a room, one by the door, one at the podium.
You don't need to find a power outlet for each one.
Just daisy chain them. That's smart.
It is. And this touches on the most significant part about its scalability. You can use this keypad as just a remote for a massive building-wide Kramer system.
Right.
Or, using their K-config software, this single unit can be the standalone processor.
So that's the key distinction. It doesn't need to talk to a server rack in the basement to work.
No, it can host all the logic itself. For a standard classroom or a huddle room, this device is the system.
And that context really helps explain the pricing. The source notes it's at HDTV supply for around $408.
Yeah, discounted from $510, which, for a light switch, sounds expensive.
But for a standalone room computer, it's actually quite competitive.
It is. And looking at the market reception, people seem to get it. We saw 5-star reviews from users like Jeffrey C. and Rico T.
Interestingly, the reviews didn't just praise the hardware. There was a specific shout-out for the vendor support. Rachel Christian, the VP of Operations at HDTV Supply.
That's a huge factor in the AV world. If you're programming RS-232 commands and something isn't working, you need support that understands the tech, not just a chatbot.
So to synthesize all this, the RC-206 effectively hides the complexity of RS-232, IR, relays, and networking behind 6 friendly, glowing buttons.
It forces the technology to adapt to the human rather than making the human learn the technology.
Which brings us to a final thought for you to chew on. We are living in the era of AI voice assistants and sleek glass touchscreens. But is there a hidden elegance and perhaps superior reliability and returning to a single physical button that does exactly one thing every single time you press it.
Sometimes the smartest smart home feature is just a switch that works.
Go push some buttons today. Thanks for listening to the Deep Dive.